Good afternoon. You're listening to the new WCEG Network on WCEGTalkRadio.com. Click your Livestream tab or watch us live on your smart TV, YouTube at WCEG Network. I'm Celeste Giordano, your show host, along with my co-host Sara Poe, and this is the Global Legacy and Wealth Building series for the next hour. We're the worldwide community empowerment group where we speak life into the community. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and on Instagram at WCEG_talk_radio and at WCEG Network. And last but not least, our disclaimer, the topics and opinions are those of the show host and guest and not WCEG Network. Thank you for your continued support. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So good to see you here today. And Sara, it's so good to see you and be back as co-host and host today. I missed you, and you guys did a great job, you and Lisa, a couple of weeks ago with Sharita. And I'm just so excited to be back here tonight with talking about networking and building relationships and 10X in our networking business. So I appreciate you. And tell us a little bit about yourself, Sara, please.
Oh, I am a very tired tax professional because Friday is our last extension deadline, and then I'm going to go sleep for 3 days. But I just try to help people, get the businesses up and going, help them understand what they're doing, and help them make the best decisions they can, because without all the numbers, can't make those good decisions.
Okay, and you're with Poe's Accounting Services?
Poe's Accounting Services, yes.
All righty, well, go ahead.
So, yeah, I'm just happy to be here.
Absolutely. And we also have with us tonight, we have Joan Williams, who is the new president with Kiwanis of North Gwinnett. Is that correct, Joan?
That's correct, Celeste. Thank you for inviting me to be on the show.
Absolutely. And congratulations on the new year for Kiwanis and taking over as president, and looking forward to attending and being a part of that. We also have Bill Courtright with Spire. And Bill, tell us a little bit about Spire, please.
Thank you, Celeste, and thank you, Sara. It's a pleasure to be here. Spire is an organization that Brigida Hofferly and I founded about a year ago because we thought that Atlanta deserved a community, and a community should exist to attract the best professionals Atlanta has to offer. These are professionals that are heart-centered. They believe in the power of association and the benefit of giving back. So we are now about 240 members strong, and we meet on the first Thursday of every month in the heart of Buckhead.
Absolutely. And thank you very much for sharing that. We have Amy. Amy, tell us a little bit about eWomen, please.
Yes, so thanks for having me on the show. eWomen Network was founded 21 years ago. We have 118 chapters around the world. We're connected to over 500,000 entrepreneurs worldwide. We're an all-inclusive network. We have email members as well as women in business. And we have about 2,000 speaking opportunities that we look to fill every year. And we have the largest international entrepreneur conference in the world that's held in Dallas in August. And we have monthly meetings twice a month. One is our strategic business introduction meeting, and the other meeting is our accelerated networking luncheon event. And that's usually held on the last fourth Wednesday or fifth Wednesday of each month.
Very good. Thank you very much. And then we have Carol Dockum with Beautiful Faces Going Places. And Carol, tell us a little bit about that, please.
Sure. Thank you so much, Celeste and Sara. Yeah. So Beautiful Faces Going Places Women's Success Network is an online chamber of commerce for women in business, small business owners, and entrepreneurs. We launched our company 3 years ago with the vision of connecting women around the globe through visibility, education, and networking opportunities. So that's it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And
Celeste?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, thank you very much, Sara. I am Celeste Giordano with CelesteGiordano.com. I'm a master sales strategist and a business mentor. I help business entrepreneurs, direct sales teams, and corporations exponentially increase sales and profit through lead generation, building relationships, and accountability. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you what, we have a really great show tonight. I mean, how many people out there have had the brakes put on for networking? They've been doing Zoom for how many months now? And then we've broken back out into doing some in-person meetings for maybe 6 months. And then we have some organizations doing hybrid meetings. So we got a great group of people who's going to share with us all the gold nuggets there are about growing your business through networking with like-minded people, building relationships. And I love what Bill had to say. And I know he founded this with Brigida, and we've worked closely. Sara and I have worked very closely with Brigida as well, is being heart-centered and serving others first. And Sara and I also, we have a nonprofit that we do networking called the Women of Community Impact, and it's all based around serving in the community as well and helping business entrepreneurs grow their business. So we're going to jump right in here today. And Joan, I would love to start with you first, if we could.
Okay.
And would you do the honors and tell us what is the Kiwanis Club and what is your mission, please?
Yes, Celeste, I would love to. So Kiwanis Club has been around since 1913. It began in Detroit, Michigan, and now it's spread all over the world. And the global mission of our organization, even here locally, is that we're a community of volunteers, and we are dedicated to improving the world one child and one community at a time. And so go along with what Bill has said, we're very heart-centered. We believe in adding value to people and reaching out to people. And so our club, the North Gwinnett Kiwanis Club, here in Beaufort, Georgia, which is about northeast of Atlanta, has been active for 82 years. So since 1939, we've been chartered. We're one of the oldest clubs in Georgia. And I found out today that our club was the first club that actually inducted the first female into the organization, because prior, I think mid-'80s, they made a shift where it was primarily a men's organization, and then it became co-ed, and so that was kind of neat to know. But we believe in adding value to our community through service projects and creating relationships with people, and we have a great close-knit group of business leaders, employees as well. We have organizations as a part of Kiwanis that reaches out to our children, to our high school with Key Clubs, and then college with Circle K. So just a broad, diverse ability to spread the word and look at what can we do to add value to children and to families and make the world a better place in our local community.
Joan, thank you for sharing that. And I sort of had to smile a little bit when you used the word co-ed. That made me think back in the 70s when I was in college. I mean, that everything was like, this is co-ed, but this is only women and this is only men. And for you to say that it was co-ed like that. And also your father, I believe, was part of Kiwanis, and your brother's there, and you and your brother are both sort of followed in that footstep as business entrepreneurs. Is that true?
That's very true. Yes, so Kiwanis has been in our family. I told the story today at our meeting that we moved to a new town, and my dad was befriended by a new friend who invited me to a Kiwanis. Never heard of Kiwanis. He went, just the camaraderie and the relationships, and that helped him a lot. He ended up being a Kiwanis member for 50 years and then was president for 2 terms. My brother then followed suit with the club that I'm a president of, and now third, not generation, but third person in our family. So we were taught growing up to give back to others and to serve from our heart and to add value to people. And it's just a joy to be able to carry on a legacy that's kind of in our family and being able to add back to other people.
Absolutely. And Kiwanis is all over the United States, correct?
All over the world.
All over the world.
All over the world. Yes.
So absolutely. So Sara, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask one question to all of them. And then I'll let you ask each of them a question. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
That way we can get everybody on level playing field here. So I'm going to start with Bill next on what does networking mean to you? And would you also share a little bit more about Spire when you do that, please?
Oh, certainly. Excuse me. So networking, it's one of those interesting words that takes on new meaning as we grow our business, as we grow socially. as we become more legacy minded, top of mind on this call, that idea, that servant leader idea, that we gather not only to learn from one another, but we say Inspire, we gather to grow. And I define networking as like-minded individuals with an eye toward growth that come together, looking to grease the skids, lighten the load, or make something happen a little easier than it can happen on your own. And if you believe, as I believe, and as the individuals and organizations that we attract believe, there's something happens when proximity and reciprocity are engaged or are stimulated or are catalyzed within an organization. And proximity simply means that when you surround yourself with great people, great things happen. And you are going to improve, you are going to grow, and you are going to glean best practices, and you will be better for having surrounded yourself with those people that are achieving a level of success or a type of happiness or a something positive in their life that you aspire to attract. Being around those people is simply all that is necessary to catalyze that growth within an individual. Now, there is a caveat, and that's where reciprocity kicks in. Reciprocity says that you will be gifted with all these benefits so long as you're willing to put out into the world or bless others with the type of service that you'd like to see, not brought back in equal proportion, but some of us believe will come back 10 times over. So proximity and reciprocity are those two things that define the growth model that networking provides. It's that idea that as we gather, we grow, as we share. I think Napoleon Hill talks about that third mind. When two great individuals come together to tackle a problem together, something amazing happens. It's that new idea, that new thought, that inspiration that wouldn't be there had it not be for these two lovely souls that came together to tackle the problem in concert. And that's what we try to do on a much grander scale. That's why we gather. And we do so every month. So SPIRE is actually an acronym. We'll get that out of the way right now. We talked about the P and the R, SPIRE, S-P-I-R-E. The S actually stands for service. The P is proximity. The I is intention. The R is reciprocity. And the E is excellence. And we can get into more of that in a little bit, but thank you.
Very good. Thank you for sharing that, Bill. So Carol, what inspired you to launch Beautiful Faces Going Places Women's Success Network? And tell us a little bit about it, please.
Sure. You know what inspired me is I'm a former Chamber of Commerce executive director. So I ran a very successful Chamber of Commerce in Oxford, Ohio, home to Miami University, and I absolutely loved everything that it was about. And this was about 7+ years ago. And then I had this idea of creating an online Chamber of Commerce for women in business, small biz owners, and entrepreneurs, you know, without local politics and without the political advocacy. And wow, wouldn't it be so cool if we could leverage technology to connect small business owners with other small business owners and also give them access to education, information, resources. I absolutely love to learn. And I think as small business owners and solopreneurs, many of us are lacking certain pieces of that success puzzle. So I love to bring, you know, the speakers, trainers, coaches, and experts to the table and provide that opportunity for them to share and showcase their information. And that supports other small business owners as well. And creating that win-win situation for all. So that's what inspired me. And the crazy thing is I spent about 2 years trying to figure out the how do I do this? You know, this whole concept is bigger than me. And then 2020 happened, right? And we all had to embrace technology. And believe me, I think I was in shock for about two weeks. And then I realized, you know, the impact that we could have by leveraging Zoom and technology. And then it was just go time, and the rest is history. So thank you, Celeste, for that fabulous question.
Absolutely. Thank you. So Miss Amy, tell us a little bit about eWomen. And I believe you've been a managing director. Is it 10 years? Is it your 10-year anniversary, or am I shy on that?
It's 13.
13 years.
13 years.
Yes. Congratulations, Amy, on that. And I love, you know, our eWomen network group up here, as well as Beautiful Faces Going Places and Kiwanis. And I'm looking forward to attending SPIRE, Bill. But, you know, tell us a little bit about eWomen and the mission and your why for eWomen.
Well, our mission is really to help 1 million women make it to $1 million And I've said that over and over again, and I can now walk the talk. I made it to 1 million. And what I love about eWomen Network is it's taught me that I can make it to 1 million and how to make it to 1 million. So it's the education, our speakers. One of the biggest tips that I learned was starting with the end in mind. So, knowing your numbers, starting with those and then working backwards, that was really helpful. Going to our virtual summit, which is happening in January, changed my life. We learned about getting rich in our niche. And so I niched my business, having a tile company, a flooring company. That changed everything for me. If it wasn't for eWomen Network, I would have never been able to build $1 million business ever. And only 2% of women make it to 1 million. So because Sandra put it out there to make it to 1 million and I'm the executive director, I'm like, I'm going to do it so that I can inspire other women that they too can make it to 1 million, that it is achievable. And if I can do it, you can too. And I hope that my story is really inspires other women to achieve their dreams and to be an example for women, and that you can't do it alone. It really does take a team. And for me, eWomen is about the expertise and the teamwork that makes the dream work. I have found my people like, how do you do all you do? Well, I have found my team through my network, and eWomen Network has the most. I swear, E stands for expertise. We have them. My accountant is in Atlanta, the eWomen chapter in Atlanta. Deborah is doing my taxes this week before Friday. I mean, this is what I mean, that I love that it's a global network. I don't have to have my accountant in my backyard. I can work anywhere virtually. The other thing I love is my members like Jordan. She is now working in multiple cities. We've been able to connect her in New Jersey. I try to teach women in Cincinnati that you can scale your business in any of our chapters and work globally and stop playing so darn small. And I kick their butt. It's my job to kick their butt and say, get in gear, and you can be working in any city you want. You just gotta let me help you as the master connector. So I'm kind of known as the master connector, both worldwide and locally. And so I know people all over the world, and you just tell me what you need and I will be the master connector for you. And, I've got a servant heart, and that's why I've been doing it for 13 years. I call it business blessings. In eWomen Network, I try to bless as many businesses as I can through connecting them with the people they need to know to grow their business, period. Whether it's clients, how to market and promote them, or just helping them with resources and access to good connections.
Absolutely. And Amy, thank you for speaking from the heart, because it goes to the heart. I have been a member, been a part of eWomen in Atlanta, and they have some phenomenal ladies and gentlemen in Atlanta. But when I came to visit, Deborah Daniel was the one speaking, I think, when I came to visit. And then I became a member up in Cincinnati. And I love your passion. I love your energy and your servant heart, how you truly help other women grow their business. And I'm just very appreciative that our paths have crossed, and they're going to stay crossed. And thank you for everything you do to help business entrepreneurs grow their business. You are a master connector. So thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Sarah, how about you? I started us off. I'll let you go with the next round.
Okay, so Joan.
Yes.
How did the pandemic affect your club, and how are you planning to lead your organization into a new year, a new era?
Very good question, Sarah. Thank you for asking. So the pandemic, of course, affected all of us in different ways. And like Carol said, she had to go to, web-based with Zoom meetings. Well, in Kiwanis, we did the same thing too. So we went to Zoom the year that the pandemic happened into the next year. And then this past year, we had to move our location from an area to a smaller restaurant that could accommodate us for our smaller numbers. But even during the pandemic, we did lose a few members just due to financial situations, but we also gained 60 members during that time. And so where a lot of other clubs, civic clubs, had to close because of losing membership, our club actually grew and maintained. And now we're positioning ourselves to just spring forward into a new beginning. Today was my first official meeting that I conducted, and I gave my story and my vision for the year. And what I felt convicted to lead us all in is that we have to learn how to deal with things as they are right now, but not let it affect us. And so my theme this year is the power of positive. and to think positive. And I challenge them that people are looking for people like us, and that's people who have those values and who are hopeful and who are positive and who are making a difference in the world in spite of what's going on. We're finding ways to win, add value, serve our local community, and make a difference. So in our Kiwanis Club, we're known in our community for amazing projects. My brother started the first father-daughter dance for the club 10 years ago. And before COVID, I think we had 1,000 people, fathers and daughters, that came the first weekend in February for an elegant prom for the dads and the daughters. And we're going to be doing that again this year in February. We just completed a golf tournament where we gave benefits and proceeds to the Home of Hope, which is a local shelter for homeless moms and their children. And we are looking to give them $18,000 from a golf tournament that we organized and manpowered and partnered with their folks as well and their benefactors. And it was a win-win. Every year for about 20 years, we've been selling Vidalia onions. So I don't know, Carol, if you ever had a Vidalia onion, or Amy, but they're sweet onions and they're delicious. And so we have sold like 2,500 pounds of Vidalia onions about every year, or 2,300, somewhere in that neighborhood. And we've been able to give away 15 $1,000 college scholarships to our local high school seniors to go through an interview process with us. And we've been doing this now for 10 or 15 years. So the money adds up to the impact into the community. So food drives for our co-op, we just look for needs and look for a way to fill it, look to expand our membership with people who are like-minded. And we're attracting a lot of people to our group. And because Kiwanis is very, very well respected, because who's out there really trying to add value to children and to families and communities and making it a better place for them. So I hope that answers your question. And, one of the things I tell people is I have grandchildren now, granddaughters, and I feel like even in my own business, outside of Kiwanis, I own my own mentoring and coaching business, is that we're impacting and we're really equipping the future leaders to me of my grandchildren. When you can pour into young people and people, in their 30s and 40s, you're creating that environment for your children and grandchildren. And that's what gives me such passion and such reward to keep on serving, keep on looking, who else can we impact, both personally, professionally, and through the community service as well. So it's all about growing yourself first. You grow yourself, your mindset, and then you're affecting other people.
Oh, that's awesome. And I buy my Valdalians every year. I don't eat
You
onions.
do.
I give them away.
I do. I enjoy delivering those onions, and my car smells like an onion for about a month afterwards. So it's a lot of fun.
So, Bill, how do you measure success while networking?
Well, you know what? There's so many brilliant leaders on this call, and I'm hearing so many things. And to each person we meet, we are, everyone on this call is so many ways my superior. So it's people like this that I learn from every day. So thank you. I personally kind of to plus on what we've heard thus far. I think we're first called to better our best ourselves, right? So we first want to make sure we're putting our best foot forward. So we sharpen our own pencil first, we better ourselves. And then once we as entrepreneurs, business leaders, professionals better ourselves, I think it's natural for us to try to better or best our business. Well, there's a third step, and the networking component falls into that step. And that's after we've bettered ourselves in our business, I think we're called to better our communities. And it's not just the communities that we can serve and the 501c3s and the non-for-profits that we can benefactor, but it's the individuals that we network with that we can help them. And, I think it's John Maxwell who said, there's an entire wing at Barnes & Noble devoted to self-help, yet you can't find a single shelf devoted to help others. And I think networking and the success that comes from networking, to me, is defined on how many people can I successfully bridge a gap between where they are and where they've told me they want to be? How can I ask short questions that require long answers, sit back and listen, and really get inside some individual's head and heart and find out what it is that they're burning on? More importantly, why? Why is that important to them? Is it important to them because they need to scale? Is it important to them because they want to bring people back from work? Is it important to them because they want to grow, expand, or work virtually all over the country? Is it important to them to share the message with females who aren't opening businesses for things that stink and thinking in their own head, and they've got the best ideas there are, and we're called to bring them out and encourage and inspire them because we need them. They're the best natural entrepreneurs on the planet. They're hardwired for multitasking, and we as men, we can't even chew gum and walk at the same time. So I've surrounded myself with empowering women leaders. The entire management team in our organization are women, and I feel just amazingly satisfied to be around women who solve my problems every single day. And then I lift them up so that they can be recognized for the work that they do. So
Absolutely.
for me, the success measurement is not what did I receive, because I believe service is a selfish act. I mean, I don't know if anybody understands what I mean by that, but to the degree that we can bridge successfully that gap between where someone is and where they ultimately want to go, well, you just sit back and just reap the rewards. I promise you it'll happen, and it happens quickly. And so I drank the Kool-Aid when I had heard 25 years ago that you could achieve anything you want out of life so long as you help enough people achieve what it is that they're looking to achieve. And I drank that and I said, oh, that sounds good. I can do that. So I measure success personally as it pertains to networking with how many people can I receive gratitude from for helping them get from point A to B, from B to C, from C to D. I'm not saying we can take them from where they are to the $1 million, $2 million, $5 million goal, but somewhere along the line, we can lighten their load. We can successfully close a loop. We can help them to learn. We can clear then illuminate a path, right? I mean, we all have so much to offer. And as I've said to each person on this call, I mean, you're all so many ways my superior. And listen, we all know it, right? You either win or you learn. And for the people that are on this call, we've all successfully mastered that lesson. And now we feel legacy focused, like we have something to give back. And isn't it funny? The most successful people always have the most time. And those are the people that have mastered the art of asking short questions that require long answers, and then taking the time to patiently listen with eye contact dead on the whole time. That's when connection happens. And that's how I measure success in networking. How many times did I connect? And how successful was that connection where they actually shared with me an ask that mattered to them? And then the thank you notes, that's what fills my tank.
Good answer.
Very good, Bill.
Very good. Servant heart. I love it. So Amy, what are some of the questions you ask people when they come to your networking events? Or like, do you have the capacity to take on new clients? I mean, tell me about that.
Yeah, so the first thing is I usually ask them, do you have the capacity to take on new clients? And the reason I ask that is because there's so much opportunity among eWomen Network. Our number one goal is to bring more clients to our members, and we're seeing the results of that, but they need to be able to honestly answer if they are at full capacity or if they have the ability to serve them. Because if we're going to refer them, one, we need to know that they're going in the network to follow up with that referral. And the other thing I think that's really important is to also ask them, what is their biggest challenge? Who do they need to connect with that we can help them make the connection through networking? And just when we say, what is your biggest challenge? It's more about is there an expert that we can help solve that challenge? Who can we help? Again, network, connect them. So I use a system in my phone, and it's all coded, and people have never done this in their phone, and they're blown away when I show them this. But I can pull up all my contacts just under the first name. I code everybody, usually by what their expertise is. And then if somebody asks me right on the spot, I can pull it up in my phone for them. And so they're really impressed by that. That's part of that master connection. But I think the biggest thing people want to kind of like what Bill was saying is you ask them the question, the short question like that. And then you wait and you give them eye contact and you listen, and then you try to follow up. So I think the follow-up part is the biggest part of the networking. Is I have a really great system of follow-up, and it's that coding in my phone. I'm really good about managing all the members and doing the due diligence of the follow-up that's required to lead a chapter of that size. It's really important to, again, going back to serving them through those questions that you're actually saying, oh, I need a connection to an accountant. The taxes are due this Friday as self-employed. Well, here's a great accountant, and here's 3 accountants. And I don't single anybody out. If there's 3 social media, if there's 3 accountants, I give them all their names just to be equally fair to all of them. I never, single anybody out. So, yeah.
If I would like to say something by attending Amy's networking groups up here in Cincinnati. I love the fact, Amy, that you do ask that question, the challenges or what do they need? And you prod these people to think so they can think, decide, and respond. And you come back, like you say, as a master connector, and just like that, you've got a name and a number to help them. You have multiple names and numbers. And if they don't follow up or take advantage of that, shame on them. But you are definitely thinking of them and helping them and getting people to think, decide, and respond by asking that question of your challenges and what do you need help in? Because a lot of times people, they just go through life coasting and they don't know, what do they need? They don't know what their challenges are. They're just there. And I love that because Amy just really takes a deep dive with her clients and her members at eWomen and gets them to think, and they can walk away with a name and number anytime they want to.
Thank you. And we call it our signature accelerated rounds of networking. So
Yes.
We do 2 rounds of networking. We say who you are, what do you offer, who do you want to connect with, and what's your number 1 challenge or opportunity. So those
Yes.
are the 4 questions. We switch tables, and then we ask at second round when they meet new people, those same 4 questions at every monthly event.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Didn't mean to interrupt, Sarah, but I just had to chime in on that because I really do love that at Amy's networking group.
So Carol, back to the beautiful faces. What sets your networking apart from other professional women associations?
That's a great question. I do want to give a shout out though to eWomen Network. I joined eWomen Network. I'm not sure if it was 8 or 10 years ago when I was actually a chamber president running my Chamber of Commerce. I just want to give a shout out to Chambers of Commerce's professional associations and other networking groups out there. It is just so important for us all to, continuously build new relationships. And I like to say, find different networks because you're going to meet new and interesting people. It's a great opportunity to spark conversations, make new connections, and really create new opportunities, not only for yourself, but others. So I'm a huge advocate of get out there and join other organizations. And I keep thinking that there are 7 blank billion people in the world, and so many people that we can impact and help. So I'm going to give a shout out to eWomen Network and to Amy Ostigny because she is our chapter leader here in the greater Cincinnati area. So what sets Beautiful Faces Going Places apart? Really, it's about our online programming. That was the vision when I launched our company 3 years ago. We just celebrated our 3-year anniversary. And so the majority of our networking is online. We have various success team members. They're speakers, trainers, coaches, and experts that actually do monthly mini classes and courses. We have empower hours, webinars, virtual networking events. So I think that is what sets us apart, as well as I actually love hosting and doing business spotlights on entrepreneurs globally, where we do a 30-minute business spotlight on your business and then upload that onto LinkedIn and YouTube. So that's great marketing and promoting small business owners. So I think that's what sets Beautiful Faces Going Places apart. So I think that's it.
And I think I've attended some of your online events. You're doing very well. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I'll just say I've gotten completely out of networking, and this is a good refresher for me.
Awesome. I think that's so important. Thank you, Sarah. And you know what? I am just a huge advocate of leveraging technology. As Amy said, your business can go global. It can go, if you're not limited to a geographic location, leverage technology, be seen, be heard, be found. You just don't know who out there in the world needs what you have to offer. So thank you, Sara, for that question.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sara, for that. And thank you, Carol. And, I met Carol at eWomen through Amy attending eWomen and also, participate in Beautiful Faces Going Places. And, it's good to have, I don't want to say several, because I believe that I like to have a handful of networking groups that are my go-to networking groups. I think some people can go to networking, and they never are building relationships there. And so I do think that you need to do your due diligence. You need to research, is this a good fit for you? Have a conversation, meet with the executive managing director, the founder, and get to know these leaders and that are running these organizations, and make sure that you're a good fit there and that you're not going to be a taker, that you're going to be a giver. Because there's a lot of people that attend these networking events that they're takers, but they don't give back. And I think it's very important that you have to be a giver, not a taker. So, Joan, I'd like to come back to you. And how does Kiwanis help students learn leadership skills and prepare tomorrow's leaders?
Yes, Celeste. We have Key Clubs, which is a Kiwanis club basically in high schools. And it has a teacher that is their sponsor. And then we have our Kiwanis, different people in our Kiwanis club are the liaison between our club and the Key Club in our local high schools. So we offer guidance to them. They have projects as well that they do. They help us with some of our projects. Then the state Kiwanis Club in Georgia also offers a key leader training a weekend away in the spring to a local camp where they get a scholarship to go to this camp. And these can be students that may be showing leadership skills or just may have potential, and they get away and they have an infusion of positive and dreaming big, all the things that all of you have shared that you're doing with adults. We're giving these young students in high school a dose of that. Just don't think of getting by, dream big and develop your personality and your skills. And so that leads into, other careers, becoming a business owner, whether or not they go to college or not. And then in Circle K is the same organization in college to develop those people as well. And in our Kiwanis Club, having the scholarships, we interview and we have to limit how many we can give, but we have so many we would love to give. And it's just investing into those local youth in those high schools and being a part of that and giving those scholarships to them. And they also volunteer at our events. We have a lot of Key Clubbers that come and help out with our father-daughter dance, and they're learning to greet people at the door and check the coats for the girls, at the door and serve refreshments. So they're getting a lot of good experience in interacting with others and what it means like to serve in the community. Many come back after they're in college and graduate, and they tell us the impact of our scholarships and the impact of Key Club and what it's meant to them.
Absolutely, Joan. And that's something that's near and dear to my heart, because with the local high schools, I'm a mentor to several mentees in some local high schools as well as colleges. And it's so important to give back to the younger generation because they are our future. And some of them have never grown up in a networking environment. Their parents maybe work a 9-to-5 job. They're limited knowledge on entrepreneurship. They're limited knowledge on serving and giving back. So what a great reward that is to impact the future generation by mentoring in high school as well as college. So thank you for that.
May I tell a quick little story? We had an international student receive, he's in America, but grew up, his parents were first generations Americans. He had a vision of creating a nonprofit to help first generation American students go to college. He received a college scholarship from us, and today he has a thriving nonprofit that he runs at 23 years of age, and he got a lot of that experience from the scholarship that he received from us.
Very good. That's great, Joan. Thank you. So, Bill, you've made a bit of a career out of empowering individuals with the opportunity to network on an elite level. I love this. What more can you tell our listeners about that elite level?
Well, thank you for that question. This is, I'll tell you what, elite is as much aspirational as it is a realized thing. It's not something you would call yourself. Like I would never say, hey, I'm an elite professional. An elite's a mindset, and elite networking to me is the idea. Listen, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're likely in the wrong room. Yes. I mean, so
Yes.
we kind of want to be, we want to be in those networking circles where we're offered an opportunity to give, to show our zone of genius or brilliance, yet we're a little bit uncomfortable, because if you're a little bit uncomfortable, you're likely growing and you're right where you should be. So, there's a lot of ways I could take this. I got inspired by the learn, do, teach, as Joan was speaking. I think when you think of the mastery arc, we as human beings, we first learn, right? And then we go out there and we actually do. And this is kind of, if you look at our life cycle, in your 20s and 30s and your 40s and 50s, and as you get more and more closer to that legacy mindset, you start realizing how sharp you get and how tuned you get and how masterful you get when you're called to relay your wisdom onto someone else, those wide-eyed and ambitious young people. And so it's that teach component. And I think in any successful networking group, and this is certainly true with Spire, because we have a real focus on thought leadership, and we have a real focus on edifying those within our community and sharing their unique zones of brilliance, their unique zones of genius. And we've got keynotes and we have panel talks and workshops where our members get a chance to really, I think the term was, bless us with what it is they've experienced and learned over time. And that educational component, that leaders are learners, is super important. So networking on an elite level is first telling yourself, you know what, I like that word elite. I'd like to be considered that one day, or I'd love for someone to describe me as an elite professional, or I want to be a part of a group of people that describe themselves as elite. And what does it mean to network on an elite level? Well, in my opinion, it means first there's got to be an aspiration of growth. There's got to be an aspiration of advancement and leadership. There has to be something to say, you know what, I'm okay being uncomfortable, because I know that this will be uncomfortable until it's not. And if I never move forward, it'll never get not uncomfortable. So we have this real focus on growth, on education, on leaders are learners. And then we also focus a lot on relationship building and true connection. I mean, how many people on this call or in the audience have to make a living by convincing people to part with some level of capital? Like, you've ever had to sell something? I mean, I sell my kids on eating their vegetables. I sell my weight on other things, but we have to sell every day. And I think that the idea, that connection, and I think it's easy for us as professionals to say, you know what, I want to lead with credibility. I want to become the most credible person. I want everyone to think, man, he knows what he's talking about. And I think credibility is super important. And I think credibility lends itself to certainty. And I think certainty is really important. Know what you're doing. But there's another component to that. And it's that congruence component. And that is, or that connectability component. And congruence is certainty and congruence together. Certainty is, you know what you're doing. And congruence is, you're going to deliver as promised. Well, if credibility is important, there's something far more important to actually converting someone to a yes. And in my opinion, that's relatability. And interestingly enough, relatability comes from vulnerability. So, my hero author, Brene Brown, I mean, she impressed upon me the value of how courageous it is to be vulnerable. And any speakers in the room, I mean, have we ever come off stage where we shared a little bit more than we intended to? And what are the 5 or 10 things that get said to us immediately? Oh my gosh, I've done that, or I had this one time, or you have no idea how many times I bloodied my nose doing that. And oh my gosh, the elation. Everybody wants you to know, hey, we're drinking from the same trough. We're connected. So credibility is important, but it's not as important as relatability. And relatability is a product of vulnerability. And if you want to know how Spire believes elite networking should be done, it's where we realize we all have something to give, but we all want to educate one another, because we're all someone superior. We're all able to bless someone with the knowledge, the skill, the wisdom. And we've all taken a completely different journey. And if anybody on this call can tell me how I can get where I'm going faster, more efficient, I can promise you I'm ambitiously lazy. That just means I want to win big, but I want to expend the least amount of effort possible doing it. So a lot of that elite level networking is first admitting I have much to learn. And I want to be taught, and I want to be led, and I want to be around people that have a lot to teach and learn. And that's what elite networking means to me.
Very good. Thank you so much, Bill. And I want to go off of that with Amy next, because Amy and I, we had a leadership call a couple of weeks ago, Amy, and we were talking about mindset. And so I'm going to let that sit right there with you to share about mindset and networking. So for you to share whatever you would like to about that. I'm putting you on the spot.
No, it's interesting because, I think mindset plays a big role in someone's success, like reaching it to $1 million like I have. It was all mindset work. And I think it goes with networking too. Like, I don't have time to network. Are you kidding me? You need to schedule your success. You need to make time for networking. So when somebody says, I'm actually working, I can't go to your lunch event, like, networking is working. You're working a room, you're making new contacts, you're making new team members on your team. There is like, networking is like my number one priority. That's how I've made it to where I am. And that's how so many other people that have been successful at eWomen Network, we have what's called a platinum level membership. And that's where Bill was saying about hanging around smarter people. These are women that have made it to 5 million. A woman that owns a chocolate company. Are you kidding me? I'm going to totally make time to go to California for 3 days and hang around with our platinum members that are way higher than I am. And I'm going to learn how they're doing it. My next move is to franchise my painting business. I don't know how the hell I'm going to do it. I can't figure it out. But I sure in the hell am going to ask my network how to franchise my painting business. And I'm also going to ask them in 5 years how I'm going to sell my damn business for like $10 million and what painting company will buy it. So what I'm saying is I'm working at the end of mine to sell my painting company, but I need to go to the other women in my network to say, how did you sell your company for $1 million? How did you do it? I'm leaving. I'm heading to Florida or Hawaii in 5 years. I'm done. Stick a fork in me and I'm done. But teach me my network. So don't tell me you don't have time to network. Networking should be at the freaking top of your priority list every freaking month. If I don't have 5 networking events or 8 networking events, then I'm not doing what I need to be doing. So I make networking my top number one priority. And for those that say, oh, I've got enough clients. Are you kidding me? Then you need to learn to grow your business, because I'll tell you what, you can grow it if you've got a team behind you. So somebody says, I can't take on more clients, honey. You got to get more team behind you to build your team so you can scale your business. That is one of the number one things I see is women saying, you know what? I don't know if I can take on more clients. I'm like, honey, you need to find some more virtual assistants. So I'm just saying, I think the mindset needs to shift about networking. I think networking can be like, it's a waste of time. Well, then they're networking at the wrong place, honey. If you are not making clients, you're not getting exposure, you're not getting leads, access, contacts, resources, you're at the wrong networking place, honey. So don't tell me that last place. And by the way, don't tell me you're going to a free event. Okay. Free is for people that don't want to spend money on your services. So if you don't have $35 to come to my event, honey, you are not going to get business, because we got women that are spending $40,000 on coaches. Are you kidding me? These women have real money in my network to spend on you. Don't tell me you're going to a free event and a free lunch, because I'll tell you what, those people aren't willing to spend a dime on you. There you go.
All right. And there you go. Preach it, sister. Preach it.
Preach. Don't get me on a roll about mindset.
I know. I knew that would. I had to go off the bill on that with you. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I knew that would get a fire going in your belly.
Oh yeah, because I think that is a huge networking. Just it's like a myth or something about. It's just people have had bad experiences at other networking events, and they think that other networking groups might have that same negative thing from their other experience. But I'll tell you what, there are other networks where I'm not going to hang around with people that aren't willing to serve and give, because we give first, share always.
Yes, absolutely.
I invite people into my network that have the mentality and mindset. We come from a give first, share always mindset. And I will not invite people specifically that bring drama, that bring bad energy to a group, that aren't there to give first, share always, and lift others as we climb. So I seek out those people when I go to other networking groups that are the right fit for our network, that believe it. We have 9 core values that we believe in. And if they don't have those same business values, I'll be honest with you, we don't want them in our network, because we really enforce giving first, sharing always, lifting as you climb, and helping one another. It's just who we
Absolutely.
are.
Absolutely, Amy. And thank you very much for sharing
You're
that, because when it comes from the heart, it goes to the heart. And sometimes, as Bill said, he used the word elite. You know, you have to begin with the end in mind. If you think that you're way down here and you're going to go to a network and you're like a, real shy introvert and you don't want to grow your business, well, you're not going to grow your business. When I go to networking, but I'm up here. And this is where I want to be, and this is where I'm going to stay. And I want to be around those people up here. I don't want to be around those people down here, because birds of a feather flock together. And I don't want to be down there with the chickens. I want to be up here with the eagles right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Miss Carol, tell us about your 5 C's to networking success.
Sure. 5 C's to networking success. So we've got, I always say, ditch the pitch, right? That we really need to focus on, connecting, collaborating, cultivating conversations consistently. And if you do that, over time, you will build that know, like, and trust factor. So it's for me, networking is, it's a way to make new friends, really. And when I show up, I like to learn more about the other person, to ask, to give before I ask. And I truly just believe that if you show up to just ask genuine questions, be yourself, ask questions about the other person, and cultivate that conversation, that's where the magic happens. So whatever you do, when you go out networking, ditch the pitch, show up to be of service of others, genuinely get to know other people. I like to say this little saying here. I have it on my website. It's your smile is your logo, your personality is your business card, how you leave others feeling after an experience with you is your trademark. And I truly, truly take that to heart. So thank you for asking.
Yes, very good. So Sarah, we have about 8 minutes left. And what I thought we might do is have this question and have everybody answer it. What would be their number one gold nugget to the community for them if they were going networking? What would be their number one gold nugget that you would give to somebody that was going to either start networking or has been networking or needs to improve on their networking? So who would like to go first, Joan? I do that to you all the time.
Okay, so this is a tip for someone who has not been networking and they're new to that, correct?
They could be new. They could haven't been in a while. They could be somebody that's been networking, not getting progress. Just what is your number one gold nugget tip about networking?
Okay, I would say have the right mindset. I love what Amy said. You're going in there not to get a number and not to drop your message. You're just going in there to really connect, like Carol has said, to make a connection where, it will make sense to get together for a cup of coffee or a Zoom call or something. So you're just trying to be, where you're creating a beginning of a relationship where business can walk across.
Very good. All right, Bill.
Okay, this is complicated. This is going to take a while to explain. I think you all understand. Make a friend, make a deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. When you go out there, honestly, the growing of the business is an ancillary benefit. If you want to go out there, like everyone has said on this call, and there are hero networkers on this call, these people know what they're talking about. The idea that's been said over and over again is that giver gain, that selfless servant mentality. The idea that you give first, you get later, you share, you grow, you lift others, grease the skids, lighten the load. There's a million cliches we can use. There's authors we've all read that we love and adore. But the idea is people want to do business with people they like. And if you can just, that's it. If you can hearken back to that kindergarten day when you gathered up the stones to walk across the playground to the person who was by themselves and you said, "Will you want to play with me? Do you want to be my friend?" The idea that we have that child inside us and all we really want is to connect. All we really want is to be heard and seen, have our idea validated, all we want is a friend, even for a moment. Those lifelong friendships we all adore started with a greeting. They started with an interaction. And the key to growing yourself, your business, and if you're so blessed, your community, our world, make a friend, make a deal. It's that simple.
Very good. Thank you, Bill. Miss Amy, you
I'll
gave a
tell
bunch
you-
of go nuggets, man. Rapid fire.
Well, my golden nugget is your network, honey, is your net worth.
Word.
Your
That's true.
network is your net worth. I'll tell you an example. Hamilton County wanted to work with me, a public agency. They said, honey, to work with Hamilton County, you got to have $1 million business insurance, and you have to have it in 24 hours included in your proposal. I was able to call up my network, Doris Gibbons. She had a policy within 24 hours to me in hand. That is priceless. That is what I mean about your net worth. Deborah Daniel called her, needed help with my taxes for my daughter to get a stimulus check. She had that tax return done in 24 hours. Are you kidding me? To be able to call my network and have things turned around and expedited. Most people blow off a phone call. Your true network will pick up the phone. They will service you in 24 hours. And that is your net worth, period.
Absolutely. Very good. Carol.
I just want to say, I think many individuals, business owners, entrepreneurs, you attend networking events, and I think they have expectations that they're going to walk away with a sale. And I think that's a myth. I think the expectation should be, show up, be genuine, be truly interested in just connecting, making new friends, new connections. And it's not about just handing out business cards, and really just to ditch the pitch. And just networking in general is a great way to gain visibility. Consider it part of your marketing budget, just to gain visibility so people can get to know, like, and trust you. And at some point in time in the future, they may need what you have to offer. So, or they may have a referral or a connection, or, and that's how it works. So ditch the pitch, show up, just have fun, make new friends, and keep going.
Absolutely. Sara, this has been an awesome hour. We have about 3 minutes left, and you guys have like 30 seconds. I want you to tell me your name, the name of your networking group, and how somebody can get a hold of you ASAP. Keep it short and sweet. Start with you, Joan.
Okay. North Gwinnett Kiwanis Club. You can do that, northgwinnettkiwanisclub.com. My number is 678-910-1931. Would love to talk with you and to share more.
Very good. Bill.
Hi, Bill Courtright. My organization is Spire. Spire-atl.com is our website. Feel free to go to the Connect page. You can sign up for our email communications. We also have a Facebook fan page as well as a LinkedIn page. Just search Spire on Facebook. I'm not going to give out my phone number, but I look forward. You can all email me, b.courtright@digitalmedianation.com.
Thank you so much, Bill. And Amy.
Yes, you can go to our website at ewomennetwork.com/join if you're interested in joining our membership. It's a one-time initiation fee of only $357 to join and $19.95 a month. And that gets you access to having a profile on our website and many other benefits to joining. So ewomennetwork.com/join. You can also call me anytime, text me 513-403-0301 if you've got questions about eWomen Network. And we have been named CNN's American Hero. We've given over $100 million in grants. So if you're a nonprofit, we'd love to know you. We give out lots of grants.
Very good. Thank you. Carol.
Sure. Beautifulfacesgoingplaces.com. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. We do have a Facebook group page as well as a Facebook business page. Just reach out to me online, Facebook or LinkedIn, and I'd love to connect.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Celeste?
Sarah, yes, ma'am.
I mean, so we also have a Facebook page and a LinkedIn page with North Gwinnett Kiwanis Club as well.
Very good. All right, we're down to 15 seconds. And Sarah, thank you so much for being our co-host. Thank you to all of our amazing networking masters here. But most importantly, we want to thank WCEG Talk Radio, Penny Rogers, our founder and producer, and the board at WCEG. Wishing each and every one of you a wonderful and blessed day. Let's get out there. Let's serve. Let's connect. Let's network. Thank you very much. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you. Enjoyed it. Bye.